Malik Morrison. I'm 18 years old. I've been living in Norwich for 16 years. I was born in London, but then at the age of 2 moved down to Norwich. I've been living here ever since. I've been studying gamekeeping at Eastern College. It's something I'm interested in, something that I enjoy doing. But also I'm a member of the Air Training Corps, so I've been doing that now for a year. Just got promoted to corporal, so that was quite an achievement. Should be going to hopefully have applied for another college in Newcastle, which is an aviation college, which should be able to continue my piloting and then hopefully be able to just go on from there to either become a pilot in the Royal Air Force or to just either become a commercial pilot. So it's from one or the other. So just deciding from those two, really. I've always been interested in flying, and it's obviously given me that. The Air Training Corps has given me that, opportunity to do it. So, I've started, I've been doing it now for a year, and, it will help me get to further places. I chose Ulric Cross. He's a squadron leader who was in the Royal Air Force in World War II. And basically, obviously, in times like that, it wasn't easy for a black person to basically come out into the military and, become a high-ranking officer. As soon as I saw, what he's did and how he, as a black person, managed to become a high-ranking officer in the military during World War II, it wasn't an easy thing. It's not an easy thing now. So the fact that he did it during then, says something. And it kind of told me that, if he could do it, then why can't I? So basically, he was an inspiration. So basically, pushed me forward. So I know I can do it now. So I'll just keep going till I get there. Why, in your opinion, is Ulric Cross a role model?
When I look at him and I think about him, and I think about what he has to offer young people, it's precisely that. The self-belief in which he, could make all his achievements, the self-belief in which he became a lawyer and, then had a distinguished career at the bar. He wasn't looking back. He wasn't worrying about, what anybody might say about him or whatever. He just went and achieved his goals. And I think that's important. And that makes him a good role model for me.
What was my experience like with the historian? It was very good, actually, because not had he just, studied him and learnt about him, he'd also met him. So he kind of got to interview him himself personally and get an understanding of what he was like and who he was and what his life was like during World War II. So to basically hear that, like third hand off the historian, who, it was really good. I mean, I learnt more from the historian, obviously, than I could learn off Wikipedia and all the other sources that I had looked through. And I learnt a lot more from him. I learnt things that I never knew of. He told me a bit his personality, what he was like, a bit about his family. So the historian made certain things a bit more clear and gave me a better understanding of who he was. Clive Lewis is my local role model. I felt me and Clive had a lot in common in what he's doing now and what I'm trying to do. He himself is a military man, that's something that I would like to get into myself, what I'm doing now. I felt just with that, both of us having that in common, found it quite easy to get along with him, to talk to him, and I felt that, him being a black man in Norfolk and, doing like so many things and achieving all the goals he wanted to made me feel like I could also do the same. If you're, successful on the next general election, I mean, you'll be the first ever black MP to be representing, is it Norwich South?
That's right, yeah.
So
I think I did have a little look, and I think I'd be the first black parliamentarian from Norfolk. you know, it's important. When I do identify myself as a black Briton.
Yeah.
But one of the things you know when you come to Norwich, as I'm sure many people in your Moss did as well, I first came to Norwich in 2001, which is when I first started working here, although I moved away in between here in 2007. And one of the first things I noticed, I sat down on Gentleman's Walk, and I remember thinking to myself, I can't put my finger on it. There's something different about Norwich, and I couldn't work it out. And I was sat looking around thinking, what is it? What is it? And I was there for a good hour waiting for my interview. And then suddenly the penny dropped and I went, oh, my days, there are no black people in Norwich. Norwich, there were no black people. And I was looking round, and I know no black people. And I thought, my goodness, that's really strange. Everywhere I've lived, you know, within every couple of minutes you'd pass a black person. If you're in London, you know, black people everywhere. In Northampton, there's a lot more. Leeds, where I just come from, Coventry. So, you know, Norwich was very different in 2001, but it's changed in the last 10 years. But the great thing I have always loved about where I live now in Norwich is that it is very cosmopolitan, and I think by and large really welcoming of people. And yeah, there probably are going to be tensions when you have lots of people who are not from the local area first come in. There can be tensions completely. But I think by and large Norwich is a fantastic place to live, and I have to say from my personal experience has been very positive of Norwich. So for me, even though I may be the first black, potentially I could be the first black MP in Norwich, I like to think that the people of Norwich will take that in their stride. I don't think it'll be a big deal for them. I think they'll be proud. Most of them will be proud that they are the first constituency in Norfolk to have a black MP, but I think they'll take it in their stride. And ultimately, I'm here to represent everyone in Norwich, not just black, not just white, but everyone, whatever their creed, whatever their colour. So if I was elected, it would be a huge privilege to be the first black MP, but it would be a huge privilege to be an MP full stop. So,
What did I get from my experience interviewing him? There were certain things that I've realised I could do differently, like to the way I'm doing them now. I mean, there's certain issues, being a black person in Norfolk trying to get places. I was going about certain things the wrong way, and Clive explained to me, you know, how to handle certain situations when it comes to racial equality. So, you know, I did kind of change the direction I was going in after speaking to him and after interviewing him, and it seems to have helped actually. So, if I hadn't interviewed him, I wouldn't have, you know, done what I've done, what skills I took away from this project. Interviews, I mean, speaking to people is easy, but being able to speak to them and try learn stuff about them and their life is completely different. You know, it's not an easy thing. So this project has helped me be able to talk to people on their own level, kind of learn stuff about them, and that's something I could take away from this project and help me in life in general. I think a young person does need a role model, does need someone that they can look up to, someone who's done something that has made a difference in history, made a difference for themselves. So, you know, if a young person finds someone if they're looking to do something, I guarantee there's probably someone out there who has done it, who's done something bigger and who they'll learn a lot from. So it is important for young people to have a role model, because it'll help them achieve things and it'll help them feel that they can also do it, as quite a few people before them probably have.